What is up, everybody? We are here at Beast Sports Cards in Plano, Texas. Beast Sports Cards. Man, that's exactly right. Some good marketing there. I am Jason with DCI, Jason Dardick, and I am with big, sexy Bradley Crenshaw.
You know it.
We are here for DCI episode 16, guys. If you would go ahead and follow our account, leave us a like, a comment. That way you guys are subscribed, not missing any of our new content that comes out weekly. That would be awesome. We're looking to grow that channel.
Their business cards are cigars, man.
That's awesome.
That's Beast.
We are here, guys, in Plano again at Beast Sports Cards. It is their soft opening today. I believe their official opening is next Friday. I will confirm that. Maybe we'll put up the location on the video here. But, these are some guys that we've supported in the area for a long time. They've got wax, singles, supplies. It's a great new location. We figured we'd come out today, change up our podcast setup a little bit, and, shoot from here. So,
cool.
As we kind of dig in, last week we covered the NBA draft, the upcoming NBA draft. That was actually last week. Chet Holmgren, Paolo Banchero. Paolo Banchero ends up going number 1. Chet Holmgren 2, and I think it's Jaden Springer is the guy's name, I believe, is the third pick from Auburn. Again, it's going to be quite a bit of time before we see these guys on any Panini licensed cards. With Prizm coming out for the draft class a year prior, this Friday, it's kind of crazy how far pushed back we are on all the products. But
when does last year's Prizm come out?
This Friday.
This Friday. Today.
A week from today. So a week from.
Okay.
So I think first off the line, I believe went live on Panini Direct at midnight, and then Prizm.
Buy some?
I did not. Absolutely
Why not?
Man, I am telling you, the wax prices just do not make sense for the market. I think in our personal experience, some of the sports are a little more heavily weighted than others.
Man, I tell you what, it made sense for me today because they convinced me to open a box of hockey.
Hockey? They don't play hockey in Louisiana.
I don't even know what hockey is. And then I had to ask my guy about this card right here. And if you can see that's going to look mighty sexy in a DCI slab.
Absolutely.
But apparently I paid $400 for the box, and this is $1,000 raw. So I made money today.
Absolutely. And that's, think of how many products are out there where you could get into an NFL or an NBA product for $400. How many products are there throughout the course of the release calendar that have a $400 starting price point? Maybe the first 4 or 5 sets of the year.
Yeah.
After that, you're pretty much priced out, especially from the hit value of the singles. So, to be able to pull, a $400 box, to be able to double your money without any grading off of one card, that's a big win.
I mean, it's great. I was going to do football, but it was $1,500 for the box of football, and I didn't want to pay $1,500 for the box, so I went with the $400 box, and it ended up paying off. So
that's right, man.
Not bad.
And that's the best part. Something I really like about ripping wax is finding the value proposition in the different products in the different sports. So it will be exciting, though, just to see the Magic, Paolo Banchero, the first pick, the number 1 rookies, and the Prizm. Whenever those comes out, those always go for crazy numbers. So that'll be fun to keep an eye on.
Cool.
Since we last spoke, the Warriors, again, won the title. We have had a lot of new releases come out, including Flawless Football. We've seen some of the Mac Jones shields. We've had Contenders Optic Football come out as well. What is your strategy as we lead up into the summer, approaching football season? What are you looking to pick up as we lead into football season, Brad?
I'm still trying to get outside the box, man. I mean, I'm not trying to stay with what everybody's chasing. I'm not chasing the long hair, don't care girl. It's a girl, right, in football? It's the first girl playing football?
That's right.
Oh, Trevor Lawrence. I'm not chasing that dude. I'm not chasing Zach Wilson because he plays for the Jets. We've covered this before. It's organizational football. That's how you make money in this, in this hobby. So, not chasing Zach Wilson. I'm not chasing Trevor Lawrence. I'm not chasing Mac Jones, even though I pulled the Mac Jones gold,
Absolutely.
which, by the way, is not going anywhere right now. It's actually been sent off to Panini because it was bad off-centered, major print line, so I'm working on trying to get that card replaced.
Yep.
Which we'll see. There's no guarantee if that's going to happen. So I mean, I'm not chasing those guys. I'm looking for where is my value going into football season. Who do I think has a shot? Maybe not this year, but next year or the next. And that's the way I'm having to look at this. Is so far in the future because of everybody's FOMO with the current cards. And yeah, I've been beat up on chasing Jacob Eason, and so this year is going to be the tail. Let's see whether or not if he gets that job, because it's up in the air between him, Drew Lock, and Geno Smith.
Absolutely.
And so if he don't win it this year, y'all go ahead and beat me up. But as of right now, I am sticking to the guns of that, and I'm basically I've picked up some really nice Kyle Trask cards. I picked up the gold vinyl.
Yep.
And then I'm looking for the NT Shield. When it comes to auction, I'm gonna buy it.
Yep.
It's coming home with me.
Yep.
So if you're gonna bid against me, you better get those pocketbooks out, because we're gonna go hard.
That's exactly right.
But it's gonna go home with me. So I mean, I have to get outside the box of that. I don't do positional players in football if I'm talking about turning and flipping, because the positional players just don't bring the value. So I have to go quarterback, but then I have to get down to those second and third string quarterbacks that have been rookies within the last 2 years to even have a potential to have an upside to profit. So that's what I'm doing.
That's a really good insight into kind of how you're looking ahead to not only football season but just financial, spending in general, and like when are you going to buy, when are you going to sell. I think one really important piece of information you shared just now is that you are down on Jacob Eason and are willing to admit it, but are not giving up. And I think a lot of people are so quick to give up the first downtick in the market, or the first piece of negative that first negative headline that comes out. They're like, oh shit, I gotta cut bait right now.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
That's usually what happens.
And sure, I think it obviously your financials play a lot into that, but it's if you're really making an investment, you have to weather the storm a little bit. You know what I mean? There's going to be upturns and downturns, things like that.
There's a Jacob Eason that's on eBay right now. It's 5 of 5. It's the gold vinyl. It's a PSA 9. I already reached out to the guy because I'm going to buy it.
Right, and it's dollar cost averaging.
Yeah,
at that
I'm just putting that thing up.
Right, and that's
taking that risk and that flyer.
Absolutely.
The risk for me. So if I go and I spend, let's just say I spend $2,000 on a Jacob Eason card. Okay, if he doesn't pan out and he's not the starter and he stays as a backup, I can turn around and still sell that card for $1,000.
Right.
Okay. So let's take the same scenario. You got Trevor Lawrence. You go spend $20,000 on a Trevor Lawrence or a Zach Wilson card, and then when you spend that kind of money and they get hurt or they don't win or they're moved to the bench, that card that you spent $20 on just plummeted to $5. So you just lost $15,000 to my $1,000.
75%, right? And it's
and the upside for that. Let's just hypothetically say Trevor Lawrence makes the playoffs.
Yep.
Never going to happen. It's not going to happen with the Jaguars. Mark my word. But let's say the stars align and he makes the playoffs. You paid $20,000 for the card. Let's just say it gets an uptick of 10 or 15%. You've had to hold that thing in hopes that he make the playoff to make $2,000.
Right.
So it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, and that's why I go back to the people with the FOMO paying the prices for some of this stuff is absurd.
Right.
Compared to what those players do. So you've got to get outside the box and think outside the box, and some like that, some don't. Some wants to stay the course.
100%.
It's like I guess the difference in buying Bitcoin and Ethereum versus buying Shiba.
100%.
That they want to stick with what they know. So
absolutely. I guess the reason I was more asking about that is not only is football season coming up, but this summer, one of the biggest card shows, probably the biggest card show in the country, the National, is going to be in Atlantic City in New Jersey.
So excited,
I'm
man.
so excited too, man. It's going to be a blast.
I'll leave in 22 days.
22 days. I'm in 23 days. I think I'm a day behind you, but I can't wait. I know we've got friends from all over the country who are coming out. It's going to be a great time. So if you guys are there, make sure you stop by our DCI booth, get some cards graded, come say hi to us. One of the things we like to do the most is put a name to the face, especially with people who are on all of our social media. So come out and see us. But Brad, one thing I wanted to ask you about the National is how are you preparing for the National as somebody who is going to either be buying or selling, or how are you approaching the National from a collector standpoint?
So first and foremost, the National is so overwhelming. For anybody who has never been to a National, the first thing you're going to do when you walk through the door is go, wow.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what you're going to do. Wow. Where do I start? And from it, if you want to take some advice on that, go into the Nationals with a list or a plan of what you're looking for.
Yep.
Because it's at Nationals, but when you're there, if you don't have a list or a plan, all the way down to, the exact card you're looking for,
Yep.
you're going to get so sidetracked and be so overwhelmed that you're going to end up either overspending or you're going to leave because
with other junk that you didn't need.
You're going to do that, or you're going to end up, leaving not getting the cards that you wanted because you did not prepare prior to going in there. So have that. Get the map of the place. Lay out how you're going to dissect it each day. I'll tell you that in a 5-day time period, it's very hard to even cover the entire platform that they lay out at Nationals. There is so much there that if you're actually doing your due diligence and walking the floor and looking at items, that I don't think you can do it in 5 days. I know last year I walked the floor a lot, and I didn't cover it all. I was like, did I go over here? Have I been over here? And, it was just so much that they had laid out in there. And I didn't go in with a plan. And so that's why there wasn't really anything I was looking for other than Jacob Eason cards last year, which I was able to snag those.
Right.
As I was in there. But I can just tell you that if you're going there as a new person or new collector or anything to the hobby, have a plan of action before you arrive. Know what you're going in there for.
Absolutely. Budget, make sure
It's kind of like going to the casino. When you go to the casino, you got to say, okay, I'm going to spend $1,000, I'm going to spend $5,000, I'm going to spend $10,000, whatever the case may be, I'm going to spend $100,000. Whatever that number is, put that money in your pocket, and when you're done, you're done.
Right.
Because you're going to see some stuff in there that you're going to be like, oh, man, I really got to have that. I really want that. Next thing you know, you've overspent. Now you're over budget. Now you're moving that product, and now it's hitting the market, and it's selling for super cheap because you had to fire sell it, and then you drive the market prices all over the board. So just be smart about it. Go there with a plan. Map it out. Know exactly what you're looking for.
Yep.
And just have fun.
Absolutely.
It's such a fun time.
It's going to be
be sure
great
you
time.
go by the Panini booths.
Yeah.
They give away all these awesome packs, things along those lines. So that's my bit of advice for going into Nationals.
Awesome. So I know you just said you touched on you were looking for Jacob Eason last year. Is the Kyle Trask Shield your number one target for the National?
That is my number one target for the Nationals.
If it hasn't surfaced beforehand?
It is.
Awesome.
Yep.
Excellent. So the
Absolutely.
Kyle Trask, the NT Shield.
If you have it, see it, want to run it by the booth.
That's right.
You own it, bring it by
the
DCI booth. We'll have a big 20 by 20 booth in the corporate center of the entire show.
Yep.
Big grading flags that's up on it. You can't miss us. Big black tent. The big D on there. Everybody knows. Everybody likes the big D, right?
That's right. Everybody loves the D. Something that we're really excited about to kind of swing back onto the DCI side of things at the National is going to be our new raw review, our grading labels, our completely authenticated autographs, cards. I'm trying to think it's going to be same.
So let me touch on that
style.
just a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so what we done previous, just for all of our viewers and for everybody in the hobby, every card that you've seen graded by DCI that has the black label on it, all we did was grade the card's current condition.
Correct.
We didn't measure the card. We didn't look for it to be authentic. We just graded the card's condition.
Correct.
And then it was the owner of the card. If they wanted to have it slabbed, they could send it off to PSA or somewhere and have it slabbed if they wanted to.
Correct.
But they know whether or not if that card was authentic or not. So if they're doing it in a way to try and manipulate the hobby, PSA grades reprints. They grade them.
Yep.
They slab them as a reprint.
Beckett.
So you know whether or not if your card was a reprint or if it was a fake. We just graded the card for you. That's all we did. And so we graded the card's condition. Then we returned those. So our new labels, though, because we've gotten a lot of feedback, basically on the grade or whether or not if the card was fake or whether the card was trimmed or anything along those lines.
Altered
and
in any way.
100%, there are cards that are in the black label that have been trimmed.
100%.
We didn't measure those cards.
Recolored.
Anything. I mean, not being an authentic card, whatever.
Right.
So if it has a black label that's on that particular RCR, that card is condition graded only.
Correct.
The new labels that will be rolled out at Nationals will come fully authenticated. So they will go through a full authentication process. They will all be measured, and then you'll be rest assured that when those cards are in the new white fronted labels, that is an authentic card, and we stand by that.
Absolutely. That's something we have been working extremely hard on. I know our grading team back at the office has done rigorous training on all of that, especially the older vintage stuff across all sports, pop culture, things like that.
And we've hired some new people for different areas, that have expertise in those areas. Not only that, but just continuing our ongoing training that we do in our office. So it's not like our graders just show up and eat a bologna sandwich and grade a couple cards. They literally have to go through test on a daily basis almost, to where we're constantly improving and constantly getting better at our grading process, because we want to provide value to the hobby.
And that's something we take
100%
more serious than
100%
than anything, and it's something that we are really striving to perfect as technology makes it easier and more prevalent to manipulate these cards, produce reprints, things like that. It's something that is going to be at the forefront of grading, no matter the grading company. And we are trying to do everything we can to not only stay ahead of that, but eliminate it from our industry completely. So between that and the transparency features that are coming with the slab, those are two things that DCI is really aiming to, change, make a splash in the industry in ways that grading has kind of been stale and stayed the same for so long that it's really time to really grade stuff and change it up. And that's something that coming at Nationals in Atlantic City, we're really looking forward to bringing out. So
I'm excited, man.
I can't wait.
I'm really, really excited for those new labels because it's going to put a lot of those critics, it's going to put them to bed.
Absolutely.
And it's going to put a lot of those people who tried to use a service that we were providing to the hobby as a benefit. It's going to put those people back to square one, that we're trying to be, trying to manipulate the hobby.
100%.
And that's not by any means what DCI is about or wants to be part of. We want to make the hobby better, and that's why we've done everything in this process to train our graders, to bring on, people who are more educated in certain areas, continue to train graders, continue to work, and then changing the label so that you, as the hobbyist and the collector, can feel,
confident,
very confident in purchasing a DCI white label, fully authenticated card moving forward.
Absolutely. Again, guys, we can't wait to see all of you at the National in Atlantic City. We will be at a couple other shows as well. We've got a Dallas show in July. I know we are going to be in Nashville as well. But guys, if you will leave us a like, a comment, subscribe to the channel so you're not missing any of our content. I am Jason. Big Sexy.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.